host the National Long Driving Championship. Qualifying began back in April. Nearly 10,000 competitors paid $5 for every 3 balls they hit in hopes of advancing to the district championships. The sectional qualifiers then took their hacks at 15 district sites across the country. The 26 competitors who advanced the national quarterfinals range from A to Z. While Pat Akins was qualified in Seattle, John Zitch won his district competition with a drive of 335 yards. It's interesting to note that Zitch is an amateur. The championship is open to everyone. All you have to do is hit the ball long. To get a better understanding of how far these guys hit the ball, just compare how an average golfer, a tour player, and a long driver would play the 18th hole at Pebble Beach. The world's most famous par 5 plays 548 yards. It takes the average golfer who hits his drive approximately 220 yards at least 3 shots to reach the green. Only the very longest of tour players, who average about 260 yards off the tee, can reach 18 and 2. A long driver, however, regularly crushes tee shots 300 yards, so even this scary par 5 is easily reachable in 2 by these sultans of swing. But here in the Bahamas, length is not the only factor determining the National Long Driving Championship. A long driver must also be accurate. Each player hits 4 identical balls in the final rounds, but only the drives that come to rest in the 40-yard wide fairway are measured, so players must keep their swings under control to stay in the competition. One golfer who's combined awesome length with accuracy is Evan Williams. Here's Big Cat with a tip on how you can add yards to your drives.
There are many ways to hit the golf ball a long way, but all long drivers have one thing in common. It is what I believe to be the key to distance, and that's the angle created by the left arm and the shaft of the club. The longer I can maintain that angle and still get the club back to square, the longer I'm going to hit it. Now that sounds easy, but how do we do that? Well, it's all in the lower body. When I get to the top of the swing, I would like to initiate the downswing with my lower body. I think of my knees going towards the target. Hold that angle, release, get the club back to square. Now, if you keep your weight on your right side, it's very difficult to do that. And what most players will do is cast. They will take the path of least resistance. As you can see, my angle is gone, and so will my distance. Take it back, create the angle, and hit it. And you, too, will hit the golf ball farther.
34 participants in the quarterfinals. 26 of those are district champions from around the country, 4 past champions, and the number 4, 5, and 6 finishers from a year ago, and of course the Bahamian long driving champion. Evan, how does the competition differ from last year to this year?
Last year, the top 8 long drivers advanced to the semifinals. This year, the field will be divided into 9 4-man groups. You can get to the next round by winning your group. If you don't win your group, the top 6 drives among the non-qualifiers will also advance.
Weather always seems to be a factor in long driving championships, and that's one of the reasons for the change.
Yeah, this will take the weather factor out of it. In past years, as much as 2/3 of the field could be affected by weather. This year, I think the maximum number would be 3.
The wind isn't a bad thing in this competition. The players just hope it's downwind.
The swirling Bahama winds, Roger, will make the quarterfinals interesting. Remember, a player only has to beat the other 3 competitors in his foursome to stay alive. So the strategy is not how far you hit it, but how far you can advance.
Well, here's one guy who looks like he can hit it a long way. That's 6'6" Jim Maynard.
Oh,
he hit a beauty there. That's big.
I think they're going to go back on this one.
Big bounce, and it's still going.
This is big, Roger.
When you see those guys running backwards. James Maynard.
Very impressive.
333, 7.5. 333 and 7.5.
333, 7.5 inches.
333 yards, 7.5 inches for Big Jim Maynard.
Well, that sets the standards for the quarterfinals. Everybody will be chasing 333 yards.
Everyone, including Mark Baer, Bear attends Ferris State University and qualified for the championship with a drive over 360 yards. Nice good takeaway there, Evan.
Oh, he hit this.
Yeah, he got it good. Down the left-hand side. But that's big.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice big bounce. And they're running backwards.
Great swing.
Well, I could tell his takeaway was excellent. He had nice tempo.
Huge shoulder turn.
337. 12. 19 inches.
337 yards, 19 inches for Mark Bear, the longest drive so far.
Well, that's some tough competition. There are 4 past champions in this year's quarterfinals. I'm eager to see how well they do.
Well, here's two-time winner Andy Franks.
Well, there's a good one there.
Sure is.
Oh, he hit that.
Down the left-hand side. And it gets a good kick to the right, and it's still bouncing.
324 yards, 13 inches. That'll put Andy into the semifinals.
So the 1979 and 82 long drive champion moves on. Now on the tee is the 1980 winner, Scott DeCandia, a former All-America in the shot put. Yeah, that's got a chance.
Solid.
That's got a chance. Drifting toward the right-hand side into the wind, but he'll get a measurement out of it. And they're running backwards. Yeah, they're running backwards.
The Scott's drive of 325 yards, 10 inches is good enough to win his foursome.
Terry Forkham, another past champion, also won his group, so they advanced to the semis. Wedgy Winchester, the 83 champ, is hoping to qualify among the 6 non-winners. He uses a 60-inch driver, which looks more like a weapon than a golf club.
A 60-inch driver. That's not too bad if you have to take a one-club drop.
Oh, okay. Jesus.
They're
Oh, look at
swing,
this.
yeah, down the middle. Down the middle for Wedgy Winchester with his 60-inch driver, and they'll go and measure it.
Oh, yeah.
Fairway.
314 yards, 34 inches. Good enough to place Wedgy among the top 6 longest drives of the quarterfinalists non-winners. So all 4 past champions advance to the semis.
Also looking towards the semifinals in his 3rd long driving competition is Joe Hyduke.
Oh, there's a good one
That's
by
pretty
Joe
good.
Hyduke down the left-hand side. And it's drifting to the right. And Joe will get a measurement from that one.
Good tee shot there. That's out there a considerable distance.
320 yards to be exact, Evan, the longest drive among the non-winners in the quarterfinals. Mark Bear's cloud of 337 yards, 19 inches stood up as the longest drive in the quarterfinals. He and the other 8 winners in the quarters now advance to the semifinals. Joe Hyduke was the only player to break 320 yards among the 6 qualifiers. Here's one qualifier with a tip on how to use new technology to hit the ball further.
43 inches, 60 inches. 1984, I won the National Long Drive Championship with a 60-inch driver. There's been a lot of people trying to hit the long driver, and they've had a little bit of difficulty. I would like to give you a couple of ideas of mine to show you how to hit a 60-inch driver, for instance. And when I address the ball, I set up with the ball just a little inside the golf club here, inside the neck. As I take the club back, I want to take it back with a one-piece takeaway. Very important. You don't want to take it away with the wrist too fast. You make a one-piece takeaway with it so that the shoulders and hips can turn. One of the most important things in hitting a golf ball. With a driver like this, I get anywhere from 30 to 40 yards further. If you feel like you want to try something like this for competition or long drives, get yourself one of these. On second thought, I don't need the competition. Forget what I said.
Contest. How is that going to affect Mike Gorton this year?
I think it's going to be very tough for Mike. He's won it before. He knows what it's like. He expects to win. I know it was very tough for me, and I'm sure Mike's going to have a hard time controlling his emotions today.
In the semifinals, there will be 6 groups of 4 players each. The winner of each group will advance, and there are 2 wild card spots, so 8 players will make it to the finals.
Joe Hajduk looked very impressive in the quarterfinals. He has a chance to quickly jump into the finals by winning the first group here.
Yeah, he caught that pretty good. He got it a little high.
Wind's a little quiet right now.
It's down the middle. And let's see what kind of roll. Look at that, 311 yards. You know, he caught it just at a moment when the wind died down.
That's right.
The Winds of Fortune will have to smile on Morris Robert in Group 2. He's drawn a tough foursome, but he did connect on a 320-yarder in the quarters, so you never know.
Now he drives that one down the left-hand side. If it kicks right, he's got something.
Oh, stayed in.
Oh, good
Look at this, right down the line. Over 300 yards from Maurice Robert.
300.
Very impressive.
Impressive enough to challenge 1986 champion Art Sellinger.
Now, Arthur, I think, has drawn an easy group here. If he hits it solid and hits it in the fairway, he should advance. If he doesn't, this is a big upset.
Ah, he hooked it. So Art Sellinger, who won this competition in '86, finished third a year ago.
Big upset there, Roger. Big upset.
Andy Franks was beaten by Joe Hajduk in the first group. Now Art Sellinger is out in Group 2. Terry Forkham will now try to save face for the past champions.
There's a good swing.
Yeah, down the middle. We get a measurement on this one.
Just short of 300 yards, but still good enough to win Group 3, Roger.
Well, Terry, that was a little pressure shot right there. Your 4th and final swing. You needed to get one. You nailed it right down the middle.
I hit it good, Roger. I'm glad I did. You know, in '82 and '83, I did the same thing on my last ball, so maybe something good will happen.
I guess it's all those years of experience in this competition. You're 47 years old. What are you doing with all these young pups out here?
Oh, I tell you what, you know, these guys have put me in the Geritol League, and, you know, I just stay in good shape. 3 more years, I'm going to be on the senior tour, and I'm just stay in good shape and have good hand-eye coordination and clubhead speed, so I can keep up with these pups.
Jim Maynard is no pup. He's one big guy. Remember, he bombed a drive of over 330 yards in the quarterfinals, and he's looking to do the same here in the semis. Oh, it's a good one here.
Left-hand side. It's low, it's hot, it's turning over. And as we say, that dog will hunt. Past 310 yards.
Hello.
Jim Maynard, with a drive of 312 yards, 12 inches, takes the lead in Group 4 and is now thinking of the finals.
Do you have a specific thought that you're thinking about when you go to the tee?
The biggest thought that I have is to make a good, smooth backswing and hesitate at the top of the swing and just make a clean, one-sweep motion through the ball, staying behind the ball. Seems to work.
You look very relaxed on the tee. Am I viewing that correctly?
Well, the only thing I see is about a 20-yard landing area out there, and that's what I'm going after instead of a 40-yard landing area.
Well, good luck to you the rest of the way. You've done a marvelous job so far.
Thanks, Big Cat.
Bill Sanders won 2 MCI long-distance competitions on tour this year. Now he's hoping for one of the 2 at-large berths.
Yeah, you got that one. Sure did.
This is no doubt about this. This is right down the middle. Well, it's his straightest drive so far, but is it long enough? 300 yards, 27 inches, Roger.
Bill, you've been out on the tour for a number of years. You've been a good, consistent long driver, and this long drive competition, though, you're looking for about an extra 15 or 20 yards, aren't you?
You got that right. I mean, you got to be 310, 315 to think you're going to win this deal. And I hit 2 pretty good ones there, and they were about 300 yards. So somehow I got to gain some quick yardage.
Were these the type of swings you'd make at a tour event if you were out playing?
No, not at all. You know, the courses we play, the fairways are tight, and you need to, it's a premium on hitting the ball in the fairway to play golf. But here you use a driver that's a little hotter, and you just let it eat. Grip it and rip it is what the term I've heard here this week.
You represent the best players in the world. You got a little weight on your shoulders.
Oh, yeah, it'd be fun to get into the finals. I don't know, could squeeze in there, but it'd be fun.
Well, listen, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
In Group 5 now is Tom Melinex, who plays to a 4-handicap left-handed and made it to the semis last year. He can go to the finals this year with the right swing.
And Evan, that's what he used, the right swing from the Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina area. And that's a big drive.
Good bounce. And that drives 307 yards, 18 inches. That puts the 41-year-old into the final 8.
After 5 groups in the semifinals, it's apparent that most of the tour players, the past champions and the challengers, are frustrated by the swirling winds.
Go, baby. Run hard. Go. You guys better clap. That's as good as it gets.
Even Mark Bear, who hit the longest drive in the quarters, could not advance to the finals.
Run.
But there's still one group left in the semifinals.
Leading off the final group in defense of his title is Mike Gorton.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
You better believe it.
What a good swing.
Down the left-hand side. Big bounce.
Roll, baby, roll, roll, roll.
And look at that thing roll. Look at that thing roll, and that's exciting. How past 320 yards.
Oh.
And so...
With the pressure on, defending champion.
322, 10.5 inches.
322 yards into the wind is tough to beat. Bobby Wilson will just have to hope for a qualifying spot. That's down there. That's turning left. That's going to be close to the line. He needs a kick right. And he got it. And Bobby Wilson with a good drive of nearly 320 yards.
Well, I guess you can see why they were 1-2 last year.
And they'll finish 1-2 in this year's semifinals. So we have our 8 finalists. The defending champion Mike Gorton won his foursome with the longest drive of the semis, while Terry Forcum survived with a drive less than 300 yards. Here's Mike Gorton to show you how he hits the ball further.
As the current national long driving champion, people are always asking me what are some long drive tips that they can use. One of the biggest things that I could advise them to do is relax their right arm. By relaxing their right arm at address, it allows you to make a good full shoulder turn. It also keeps the right arm close into their body and maintains the angle between the hands and the club head. This angle maintained whips through the ball with the most power. A lot of times with amateurs, I see them from the top, they're really going to kill the ball, and they get their right arm too involved. Their right arm comes over their left, and they lose their angle. What you want to do is let the right arm relax so you maintain that angle and hit it through the ball. Remember, relax the right arm at address for a good full shoulder turn, also close to your body so you can maintain this angle as long as possible, and you'll hit it further.
There's something made for your wallet that's more powerful than money. Something that connects you to anyone, virtually anywhere in the world.
Bonjour, j'arrive à 10 heures.
From any phone.
The Bahamas Princess Resort and Casino claims 2 of the 3 golf courses on Grand Bahama Island, and they're both jewels. The Ruby course winds its way through a lush forest. It's a wonder they found a hole straight enough to host this year's National Long Driving Championship. The zigzagging design is protected by water and sand. In 1988, the Bahamas was named an official world golf destination by the PGA Tour. All courses now reach the Tour's tough agronomical standards on turf management. Both of the Princess's courses, the Ruby and the Emerald, surpass all expectations. The Emerald is a tricky 6,700-yard Dick Wilson layout. There are only 4 par 4s measuring over 400 yards. The shortest is the 324-yard fifth, which demands accuracy off the tee and approaching the green. But even long drivers are challenged by the Emerald. The 532-yard par 5 ninth, with its double dogleg and greenside hazards, is truly a test. The charm of golf in the Bahamas is the natural beauty. With the holes cut from the forest, foursomes rarely see each other, and that's the way they like it. There's another golfing gem on Grand Bahama Island, the Lucaya Country Club, another masterful design by Dick Wilson. Lucaya, owned by the Atlantic Beach Hotel, hosted the National Long Drives Pro-Am along with the Princess. 75 deep white sand bunkers grace this deceptively tight track where target golf is at a premium. If your aim is better at night, Freeport is the place to be a winner. If you're called to the sea for fun in the sun, look no further than the Bahamas. Long drivers have a unique kind of fun in the sun and their own special kind of fish stories.
I was playing with a group of guys one time, and I hit a measured drive of 547 yards.
The best drive I've hit in competition is I hit one 300 yards with a 2-foot driver. I was doing an exhibition in Wilmington, Delaware. Put some of the people around the green. The hole was 420 yards. I flew it in the middle of the green and made the putt for a 2.
Back when I was in college, we were in Alabama and it was blowing about, I don't know, 50 miles an hour, and I hit one about 400 yards. I just heard Jim's story, 400 yards. I can't match that one.
In yardage, it doesn't sound that impressive. It was 429 yards. It hit and then backed up a little bit.
It's right behind me is those big trees. I slammed them in those big trees on top. I was amazed.
The hole was 425 yards, so it kind of hit on the back fringe and came back. But the most interesting part about it, I think, is the fact that it was into the wind and I used a wiffle ball.
The only thing that ever happened to me that was really neat was in Hawaii, and I was playing a dogleg left downhill about 545 yards. And I was doing an outing and had a good trade wind behind me, and I cut the corner. And I'm looking for my ball out there, 300, 400, and a guy screaming up on the green. He says, "Don't hit into me again," and I'd hit it on the green. So it was kind of fun.
Here it comes, the slam.
Evan, they got the Final Four in basketball. I guess here at the National Long Driving Championship, you could call it the enormous 8. 8 finalists this year.
And a good 8. We have 2 past national long drive champions in there. We have Bobby Wilson, who always finishes near the top. Should be a great final.
Gorton, of course, the defending champion. Wilson finished second year ago. What about the order of hitting?
Well, they're going to hit in reverse order. The shortest drive goes first, the shortest of the qualifiers, and the longest goes last. I think it's a little bit of an advantage to go first because you're more relaxed.
How about a prediction from you?
Well, I'll go with the last 2, Bobby Wilson and Mike Gorton, because they've been there before. But if I was to go out on the limb, Jim Maynard's got a great shot.
And, of course, we got one PGA Tour pro. That's Bill Sander. That'll make it interesting. The finals of the 1988 National Long Driving Championship.
Each player will have 4 swings. The golf balls that the players are using are all the same.
All the same.
2-piece construction.
Turns that one over. Terry Forkham in his 13th National Long Driving Championship past the 300-yard mark and in good shape.
Oh, he's got to feel good about that one.
304.
Well, he set the standard. We'll see what happens.
Did that get anybody excited?
21 and a half inches.
304, 21 and a half inches.
That was 304 yards, 21 and a half inches.
So Terry Forkham posts a drive of 304 yards, 21 and a half inches here in the finals, and that gives everyone else something to shoot for, and it also gets him a hug and a kiss.
Second up in the finals will be our lone PGA Tour representative to make it to the final 8, and that's Bill Sander, 11th year on the PGA Tour from Tallahassee, Florida, and Bill put a couple good swings onto the semis.
Yeah, I think that's what he'll do again. He'll just try to build on what he did before, hit the ball in the fairway, and hopefully get a good bounce or a little lull in the wind.
Oh, that's a good one right there by Bill Sander. That is right down the middle, and it's turning over.
Here we go.
What kind of roll does he get? And it's past 290.
290.
So good move on his 4th and final swing by Bill Sander.
Bill's drive stopped at 292 yards, 22 inches.
Hitting 3rd in the finals is amateur Morris Robert, who owns a Mexican restaurant down in Texas.
Nice deep breath, good idea. Relax, get all your muscles involved. Wow, look at that grip. Whew.
Oh, yeah, he got that one. He got all of it. It's down the left-hand side. It's low. It's hard. It turns over. And Morris Roberts got it still rolling past the 300-yard marker.
It's going to be close between Maurice and Terry.
Take a look, Evan. Morris has come up just short of Terry.
302 yards, 14 inches.
So Terry Forkham remains our leader. His next challenger is Tom Mullinex, but Tom's having a little trouble finding the grid.
South Carolina, Tom Mullinex.
Mullinex, of course, who can hit it either left-handed or right-handed. And like a pitcher in baseball, Big Cat, he's had some problems with his control.
Yeah, that's off to the right. And Tommy Mullinex fails to get a ball in play in his first trip to the finals.
Meanwhile, our first hitter, Terry Forkham, continues to lead as the competition struggles. How wide is that grid out there?
It's only 40 yards, which...
Gets past the 280-yard mark, about 282 yards. And as we take a look at Jim Maynard, Evan, let's take a look at Jim's swing, which has been very impressive so far in the competition.
Slight forward press here. Good takeaway, good extension. Look at this shoulder turn. That's where he gets a lot of his power. A little pass parallel at the top of the swing. Good strong leg drive. Good position there at the ball.
And at 6'6", he really stays down on the ball well through impact.
Yeah, and a great high finish with his hands.
Jim Maynard gets set for his 3rd swing here in the finals. Yeah, he tore that one.
There it is.
Down the left-hand side, it's turning over. It needs a kick right to ensure it's going to stay on the grid.
Oh, my God.
And it's still rolling. Big hit by Jim Maynard.
Wow.
Look at that. That's over 330 yards.
I knew he was capable. I fouled him the other day.
And you know what? During the quarterfinals and the semis, it was the 3rd swing that Jim Maynard did the great things with that got him to the finals.
And very poised.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was 334 yards, 1.5 inches.
Jim Maynard, 334 yards, 1.5 inches, and he's the leader with 2 players to go.
That really puts the pressure on Bobby Wilson and Mike Gorton.
Jim, that wind gusted up on your 2nd swing, and you kind of stepped away. You had the golf balls on the other side of the tee, got yourself composed, and you really put a beautiful swing on that third ball.
Thanks, Roger. I've been hoping the conditions would be right today. The wind's been swirling. Some have had an advantage, some a disadvantage, but I was just fortunate that third swing to put a good one on it and to get behind the ball and move through it.
Third swing's been a good one for you in this competition.
I think that's the one that's got me where I've been in all 3 rounds.
How about the distance on that particular drive? Do you feel you had that big a one in you?
Well, I knew that I released on it pretty well. I just didn't know how it would hold up with the wind and the way the ball was bouncing after the rains this morning.
Now you got 2 guys left. The 2 guys that finished 1-2 a year ago.
Awesome power, and I'm just glad to be a part of the competition and in this company.
So we're down to the final 2 men, and here's last year's runner-up, Bobby Wilson. Will he always be a bridesmaid and never a bride?
Very consistent long driver, but I don't know if he's got enough to catch 334. We'll see.
Hit it good. Bobby's talking to it, wants it to turn over.
Not the best bounce. Kind of hit it.
Just around the 300-yard mark, not even close to Jim Maynard's shot. Let's take a look at Bobby Wilson.
A good setup here. Good extension. Doesn't take it quite as far back as Jim Maynard did. Down through the ball, also at a very good position at the ball.
Nearly comes out of his shoes, doesn't he, Evan?
Yeah, he swings at it pretty hard there. But I guess you have to do that to hit the ball the distances that these guys do.
So Bobby Wilson has 1 more swing. He's going to need to throw everything into this final swing and more. Jim Maynard's best has got him by 35 yards. And that's a good one.
You got it.
It's turning over. It's coming down the left-hand side. He needs a bounce right. He got it. He got it. Will it settle down? Will it settle down? And it does. So Bobby Wilson on his 4th and final swing gets a beauty down the left-hand side of the grid. And that is just at the 310-yard mark.
Very important drive. Even though he doesn't move past Jim Maynard, that guarantees him a spot in next year's finals.
We're going to take a short pause and we'll be right back.
Bobby, 4th and final swing at it. You turned it over down that left-hand side and got it out to about 310 yards.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you're looking at, 334, you know, you saw the left side was the hardest, so you got to be aiming at that. And, you know, no one remembers who's second or third, so you got to go after it and just hope you can catch the good shot that Jim hit.
Well, speaking of second and third, you were third 2 years ago. You were second a year ago, but you've had a very consistent career in the long driving championship.
Well, I just, you know, you always got to get it in play, and I just feel like I've got one of those swings that I can keep it between the markers, and one of these days will be my turn, I think.
Well, Bobby, you got a good-looking golf swing, and I know you hit it a long way, an awful long time, so stay after it.
Thanks a whole lot.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Big Cat, here we go. We got the defending champion. This is the way you like to have it end up. The final player, the defending champion, and he has got a drive by Jim Maynard of 334 and 1.5 inches to shoot at.
A lot of pressure on him. He's got to come up with another 10 yards, 12 yards. That's tough to do.
Mike Gorton, Santa Barbara, California. Good-looking golf swing.
He's hit that good. He's turning it over. It's down the right-hand side. He got it a little bit higher than maybe he would have liked, but he's got it in play. And that rolls out to about 297 yards.
I think Mike's strength is his consistency. He's always right around the fairway. And what he's got to do is just keep making a good swing at it and hope he catches one just right.
Mike hit 3 balls in the fairway in last year's finals, including the winner at 318 yards, 34 inches. Let's take a look, Evan, at this year's swing.
Good takeaway. He's going to get it to the top. First move down. See, he sets that angle. That's where distance comes from. Right elbow, close to the side, extreme power position. Now the release through the ball. Going to get the club back to square, at the ball, and a good high finish. Very impressive swing.
It's easy to see why he was the champion a year ago and why he's right in the thick of things here in this year's competition.
Mike really is drawn a tough spot here as far as the wind is concerned. It seems like it's picked up in the last few minutes.
So Mike Gorton, the defending champion, with 1 swing remaining, $15,000 to the winner. And don't you know that Jim Maynard's holding his breath right now? Oh, that's going to drift off to the right. So we have got a new champion in the National Long Driving Championship from Raleigh, North Carolina, Jim Maynard.
Thank you so much.
Good job, Bobby.
And I noticed that when you were up there hitting, the wind seemed to come up and was pretty strong in your face here. Do you think that had something to do with your performance here today?
Well, I saw the distance 334 on the board, and I knew I would need a calm condition to be able to catch it, because I hit at 322, and it was fairly calm then in the semifinals. And when I saw the wind blowing in my face and it seemed to be pretty steady, I kind of had a little bit of a helpless feeling.
Well, you made a fine defense of your title, and you've been a great champion.
Jim Maynard is the 1988 Michelin National Long Driving Champion, and we'll be back to talk with our winner in just a moment.